Welcome everyone to the battle between Gukesh, the world champion here, and Fabiano Caruana. Gukesh already beat Caruana 2-0 on day 1, and Fabi, on the other hand, is in hot form today because he beat Magnus 2-0 just before this one. So will Gukesh manage to continue his momentum against Fabi? Will Fabi manage to continue his momentum that's going on this particular day? It's a very interesting clash for all of us. 10 minutes plus 5 seconds increment. The players are ready. The arbiter signals the start of the game, a handshake, and Gukesh opens the game with d4. Knight comes out to f6, knight to f3 played. And Fabi goes for the fianchetto system. He's actually going for the King's Indian, it seems. Or the Grunfeld? Well, he goes for the King's Indian. He castles. Gukesh goes e4, building up a strong center, d6, and bishop e3 played. Well, generally, bishop e2 leads to the classical system. Bishop e3, and now he goes knight to g4. Gukesh moves his bishop h6. This does remind us of the Najdorf variation where bishop e3 is played and then the knight comes there and h6 g5. You get the bishop here, which is slightly misplaced, one can say. The d4 pawn is a bit soft, so you can see him playing on the light dark squares. But h4, getting the rook into the game. He takes, knight takes d4 and knight to c6. And he comes back. Look at Gukesh's preparation. He's at 10:44. Absolutely amazing. Fabi takes here, and now rook takes h4 is possible. You can take with the knight as well as the bishop. All moves look particularly fine here. And Gukesh thinking for a bit, takes with the knight. Rook e8. Pressure on the e4 pawn. Well, always remember bishop takes c3 is possible. But once you lose that bishop, your king does become a bit weak. So he goes queen g5, and now for Gukesh, knight d5 is an option to attack the c7 pawn. It's super complicated position. e4 is weak, b2 could become potentially weak. The knight comes back, attacks the queen, and now he can take on c3 and put the queen back on g7. Does Fabi have that nerves of steel to play that? Is the big question. He's thinking. He's at 7 minutes 50 seconds. He goes queen g6. So while Gukesh built up a lead on the clock after the opening, he's now fallen behind on time because Fabi's play has been very logical and strong. Queen d2 played. And now if he can get to long castle here, I think black's position is worse. But he goes bishop takes c3. And now if you take queen takes, there's queen e4. With the pressure here. So actually he takes with the pawn. Gukesh doesn't care about his structure. Now this is pinned, but there is a very cool move that Gukesh has, and he plays it king f1. So bishop d3 becomes a big idea. h6 pawn is a bit weak. This is looking dangerous. He goes back queen g6 so that if bishop d3 there is bishop f5 that could come in maybe. And bishop f4 played. Another beautiful move by Gukesh. He's putting pressure on h6. h5 played. And now maybe somewhere you can lift up your rook. But first king g1, tucking the king. That's also a good idea. And he goes knight to e5. And here rook h3 would be very good. The idea could be to potentially go here rook g3 at some point. But he goes knight h4. Which is also fine. Gukesh playing this really well until now. 3 minutes for Caruana, 4 minutes for Gukesh. And now he goes queen to e6. Fabi maybe just not too happy with his position. That's a good move. f3, that's not a great move. Rook e1 was much better and white would have been slightly better here. Even some other move like bishop g3 was fine. But f3, Fabi finds an incredible move. He's attacking the e2 bishop, and after knight takes g6, he takes here. He doesn't even move his attacked knight. It's just brilliant. Takes, And now queen takes d2. He takes here, bishop takes d2, and f takes g6 taken. Rook comes in, attacking the bishop. And although the position has simplified here, there's still a lot to play for. White's position looks not so great. His pawn structure looks pretty poor. But it's opposite colored bishop. White has the active pieces for now. b6, I love this move. To get the bishop on this long diagonal. I think Gukesh must take on g6, but he goes at 6. Very ambitious, like always is Gukesh. Bishop b7 and rook h2, defending this pawn. I think king h7, blocking the h pawn makes a lot of sense on a dark square. Yes, he plays king h7. And now maybe g3, just trading off the active rook here. He goes rook f1. And Fabi plays rook f8. Now a3. Save the a2 pawn. It's an important pawn. Don't just give it up. But Gukesh, who has less than 15 seconds, goes bishop g5 with 1 second on the clock. It's a big mistake. It's a big blunder here by Gukesh, because rook takes rook, and here should be completely winning. Like rook takes rook, king takes, and rook takes a2 is hanging. Caruana has 1 minute to figure all of this out. He finds it. Rook takes rook, king takes, and takes the pawn. Now the a pawn is an incredibly strong pawn. Gukesh goes after the c7 pawn, but you can already start pushing your a pawn, or you can even play c5, which is a strong move. He plays it, he saves the pawn. Gukesh goes after the d6 pawn. Now a5 looks like a good move. Yeah, Fabiano now has many ways to convert this into a win. a5, he pushes, bishop takes b6, bishop takes d6. Both are possible, but the a pawn is just flowing down. Gukesh goes rook h4. Well, you can take bishop takes g2, but then why not just keep pushing the a pawn? He goes g5. And after rook g4, what's the plan? a4, I believe. The most logical move. He takes on g2. What a move. If rook takes g2, bishop takes, king takes, and a pawn cannot be stopped. And he resigns there. What a game here by Fabiano Caruana. And truly showing his class, showing that day 2 of Clutch Chess Champion Showdown belongs to him. And well, Gukesh tried to play his best, but at some point, Fabi managed to outwit him.